Introducing 2 new Subway melts. Try the new chicken cordon bleu melt stacked with juicy chicken, black forest ham, and melted cheese. Or the new $5 footlong chicken marinara melt. Tender chicken covered in marinara sauce and melted cheese. Melted goodness made irresistible. Subway melts. Subway, eat fresh. The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
This is the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
it might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't care.
The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The B.S. Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. Somehow Thanksgiving snuck up on us. I don't know where it came from. Week 12 Lions. We have 3 Thursday games this week. And as always, our friend Cousin Sal is here to join us in the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. What's happening?
You don't know where Thanksgiving came from? Or really? You have your head that locked down on ESPN?
It feels early. It feels early this year. And I think it's because, here's why it feels early. It's because the World Series ended so late. The Thanksgiving games are basically 3 weeks after the World Series. And less than 3 weeks. It just feels weird. I feel I'm off. My sports clock is off right now.
Well, that's why you have to root for a team whose baseball team whose season's over in late June, and then everything catches back up.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think of that. All right, well, a lot of stuff going on. We have 18 teams that are 500 or over, I guess.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that for 12 playoff spots. Pretty weird season. I think it's been a little bit unpredictable. The Titans, I'm starting to wonder if they run the table. Like, they're talking about it like it's a possibility, but you watched them last night and you just think, hey, this team just controls the clock and they can run the ball. I kind of like them.
Chris Johnson's, what did he say? On Inside the NFL, we're going to win 10 in a row, and you kind of laugh at it, and then it's like, wow. You watch him last night, like, I don't want to bet against this team the whole rest of the way. I don't care.
Well, and I think Chris Johnson's the number one just don't bet against this guy. That guy, we haven't seen anything like this since Barry Sanders.
He's spectacular.
Yeah. He worked for every yard he got. I don't know, he must have ended up with like 130, 140, I can't remember, but and also Vince Young is competent.
Yeah, I don't really know how to explain that. I mean, as bad as Kerry Collins was, no one thought Vince Young would be the answer. Who knew what kind of mental state he was in? And then he comes in there, and you can't sack him. He's so elusive. He's making smart passes. He's finding guys over the middle, and they're playing like a good playoff team. I mean, you look at the other 4 and 6 teams like Carolina and the Jets who happen to play each other this week. Like those teams couldn't hang for a half with Tennessee, I don't think, right now.
Yeah, I would put Tennessee in the top 12 or 13 right now. And Houston just, that was a typical Houston game where they could be 10-1 or 9-2 at this point, and instead, or whatever their record could be, but instead, end of the game they just kill themselves, and there's something wrong. Something needs to change. I'm not sure what, but
I'll tell you what needs to change our luck with our picks. I mean,
our 3-team teases.
Yeah. It was 12-4 and 3-0 with my best bets, and I bragged about the Raiders as the upset to everyone but my bookie, and we get killed again. Like I don't get it. I don't know what's going on here. But
what's come up with a name? But we had some readers send some weird theory about the Week 9, 10, 11 big home underdogs, and how two of them cover each week, and then it actually happened. But there's got some sort of phrase like Indian summer, but for the NFL season, where that 9, 10, 11 stretch, weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
Maybe you just stay away from the 3-teamers.
Yeah, you have to stay. I mean, what's odd about it is, like, New Orleans, Minnesota, and Indy have been the 3 best teams for, like, a month now or whatever, or more. And I don't think those 3 teams have lost on a 3-team teaser. Like, why don't we just go with them? Why are we screwing around with Pittsburgh and all these other teams that are banged up? I know why. It's my fault. I convince you ultimately, but
you talked me into the Steelers, and you tried to talk me into them for 4 days. I was like, no, I don't trust Arrowhead, and then somehow I'm in at 12:55 or 9:55. Yeah.
I think if Ben doesn't get hurt, there we win there. But
isn't that how you lose 3-team teases? Like you have Tampa blocks a punt for a touchdown. Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger gets kneed in the head. They're not real legitimate reasons, but that's the fluke of the three-teamer, and that's why bookies enjoy taking them, I think.
That's it. We're done with those. No more.
I think we might have to be done. I have a new theory that Timo Solani told a friend of me and Hench's about hockey, saying that the first time that hockey teams don't come together until their first long road trip, because that's when they're out getting drunk every night and chasing women, all that stuff, and that's when the team comes together. Mm-hmm. And the Bruins, so we've been waiting for the Bruins to go on a road trip. So they finally went on this road trip, and they've won 3 in a row. So Timo Solani, first hockey road trip of the season, allows the team to bond and chase women and get drunk every night, and that's when you become a real team. Interesting theory.
All right, look, we'll take the Bruins, the Cowboys, and the Packers in a 3-team season. Do it. I'm on board. I hear what you're saying. Let's just do it.
I need a win. Well, you're going to lose this week. We go head-to-head each week, and
you're up 6 weeks to 5 weeks, and the winner at the end of 17 weeks, or including the playoffs?
No, we got to include the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah. The end of 21 weeks, the winner gets to beat the loser with a Subway fresh sandwich.
And I had during my book signings, I got a lot of different recommendations, including not 1, not 2, but 3 different Subway employees or former employees who really put a lot of thought into really how we could hurt each other with these subs. One guy went a little too far and was saying how that we should put a lot of vinegar in the bread, because when the vinegar sprays off the bread, he was like, when the vinegar sprays off the bread, it'll blind Sal. I'm like, I don't know if I want to blind Sal. I mean, let hit him with the sub. I don't want to cause eye damage to him.
Well, so be it. I mean, what a dumb way and an appropriate way for me to lose my vision. But let's you know what? We should start looking into Jared officiating, right? Subway?
I think he's available.
What's he doing?
That could be weird. Anyway, you're in trouble because I went through all the matchups without looking at the lines, wrote the matchups down, and then spent time on each one. So I might ace 7 of these this week.
All right, I thought I did well too, but let's kick it off with Green Bay at Detroit.
I had trouble with this one. Wait, do we have Matthew Stafford, or he's definitely out? He's definitely out, right?
The line it's based on Culpepper starting.
I have Packers by 7.5.
Oh, all right. I had 9, and it's 10.5.
Oh, bad start for Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible having the Lions on Thanksgiving anyway, and then they go and lop off the starting quarterback's left arm, and now we have Culpepper to work with.
I feel bad. We all made fun of Stafford that he was milking it to kind of get the heartwarming moment of limping off the field holding his shoulder, but then he was hurt. He had separated shoulder.
Yeah. He's going to be good. He's going to be good.
I remember we watched him on New Year's Day last year, and he was zipping ropes around, but seemed to have no idea where they were going, and we were like, ooh, this guy's the number 1 pick? Well, apparently he is.
Great second half in that bowl game.
Yeah.
All right, Oakland at Dallas. Not happy with my Cowboys right now. I don't know how to... I'm not even going to pretend to know how to fix their offense. I said run the ball, and then they ran the ball, and they just couldn't move it at all.
I think you're favored by more points than you scored the last 2 games. Is that possible? I'm going to say Cowboys by 11.5.
Oh, no. I get this one. I said 14. It's 13.5. You think that's too high?
I think that's a little high. You don't agree?
It might be, but we have to start scoring at some point.
It's pretty high. I don't like the way...
It's something. What if they brought him in and said, all right, here's what you're going to do. We're going to sign you for 3 years. We're going to give you a ton of money. Tony Romo, one of the best winning percentages for a starter over the first 2.5 years, is going to be your quarterback. You have a Hall of Fame tight end. You have 3 solid running backs. There's this guy, Miles Austin. You don't know him yet, but he's going to be double-teamed. All you need to do is catch 3 or 4 balls a game, not complain that it's hitting you in the visor. Can you do that for us? And he can't. He can't catch any balls for us. Sickening. It really is.
Here's why I think that line's too high. I watch your team offensively, and it doesn't seem like anybody is at 100%. Romo looks hurt. He looks like he's at 60%. Felix Jones just is he's like the egg in Risky Business. Marion Barber doesn't look the same to me.
No.
Roy Williams looks like he's at 40%. I guess Miles Austin would be the only guy who looks like, but he's getting double teamed, as you said. So I don't know.
Right, and we have to break out and score at some point. The interesting thing about this game is this is the one where the punt might hit the scoreboard. You have Leckler on the Raiders who booms them.
Right.
They're going to punt about 14 times, so we should make a side bet on that, maybe.
I got for the next one, which is actually a pretty good game because it's really hard to say what's going to happen. I have Giants-Broncos. I have Giants 3.5 over the Broncos.
Oh, wow. I get 3 in a row here. I said 6, and it's 6.5. Well, San Diego's ended up 6 over Denver.
Yeah, but San Diego's better than the Giants.
I don't know. It's close.
What are the Giants? The Giants couldn't even win by 6 points at home last week against the Falcons. That's a weird one.
Who's taking Denver here? Who's taking Denver for the rest of the year?
I'm taking them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to take them.
Wow.
You think they finish 6-10? Like you're out on Denver?
They have the Chiefs twice still, but what are you impressed with? They used to at least play good defense. Now they're getting scored on. They're doing nothing.
Here's what I'm impressed by. They're at home on Thanksgiving, and it's a giant advantage. That's a much bigger advantage than we every year we always forget to give credit to what a big advantage that is. What was the game last year? Was
Philly
it
home, right?
Philly at home against Arizona. Arizona was hot, and Arizona mailed it in. And by the midway through the first quarter, it was clear that they didn't want to be there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we lost with Denver last week, so I mean, if you, I'll go with them again if you want.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm going to bet them, but I just don't see picking the Giants giving 7 after they played in New York on Sunday, and now they're in Denver on Thursday night, and they didn't even look good on Sunday.
Let me ask you this. If Chris Collinsworth had a son in the NFL who sucked, do you think Phil Simms would say something every week? I think he would.
He probably would make fun of him a little bit.
Yeah. I think Collinsworth should step it up.
How could Chris Simms be that bad, though? Like this guy, he for the entire season started for a team that made the playoffs, like 3 years ago when he was like early on in his career. I don't understand how he could be this bad now.
Well, they say a ruptured spleen says it takes anywhere from 12 to 15 years to heal. Yeah,
I mean, obviously he just can't bounce back. So maybe I don't know. How would a spleen affect somebody's career that dramatically?
I don't know. It's
pretty
a tough
weird.
call. Well, when I ruin yours with the Subway sandwich, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Seattle at St. Louis. Great game.
Yeah. Very exciting.
And I picked it exactly, so I'm up 4. Well, unless you tie me, I'm up 4-0.
I have Seattle by 1.5.
It's Seattle by 3. That's probably too high anyway, though.
That's too high.
Well, Bolger, I mean, it's funny when you see the scroll Bolger out 3 to 6 weeks, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know he was. That means he was back. He was in the lineup. It wasn't Trent Green all this time. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know if Kyle Bowler is really that dramatic of a downgrade.
Yeah, no, it probably isn't.
That's an awful game.
Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Another bad one.
I got Atlanta by 10.
Yeah, I had 10 too, and it's 12, so we tied.
All right.
That's a game on our 3-teamer that we will never play. But
yep.
Just keep that in mind. Carolina at the Jets.
I thought this was a tough one. I looked at this for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
I think the Jets might be a lockout, but I'm going to say Panthers by 2.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah?
Panthers by 2.5, huh?
You don't agree with that?
Jets are home.
Yeah, they stink.
I said Jets by 4.5. It's Jets by 3. They're both 4 and 6.
So now we know why my picks have gone in the tank the last 4 weeks. 'Cause I have no feel for this league at all. The Panthers are better than the Jets. Wait, the Jets are going to stop the Panthers' running game?
Well, Panthers do have the best player. It's such they're probably the 2 most erratic quarterbacks in the NFL right now, right? So how do you even put a line on this?
Well, let me ask you this. Have the Jets been remotely the same since they lost Jenkins and Leon Washington? Like, to me, they're like a top 10 worst team now.
No. But Carolina looked really bad against Miami. I mean, they scored late to keep it close.
Everyone looks bad against Miami when when they're not ready for that weird offense. I don't know.
All right. Well, maybe we load up on the mighty Panthers this week.
Panthers also 10 days rest.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they played Thursday.
I think the Jets stink. Like, really, the Sanchez. How much longer can we pretend that he's having a good season?
Yeah.
He's had 2 good games and 8 bad ones.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. The worst thing he could have done is beat New England that game. Now everyone thought it was average or better. Washington at Philly.
I have Eagles by 9.
You get it exactly.
Thank you.
-9. I said 9.5. So. And I don't know. You liked Jason Campbell last week.
I do.
I mean, he does. It's weird because if you need a guy to manage your offense well, but never punch it in the end zone, he seems to be the one. But they don't score. They really don't score, that team.
They don't. Well, he lost Chris Cooley, who was his end zone guy. But they can move the ball and they can hold on to the ball, and they're not terrible. I mean, it does seem like the Jim Zorn thing, that they hired an offensive coordinator and kind of reduced whatever he was doing. It does seem like that's helped them. I thought the last 2 weeks they've looked better.
Yeah.
You barely win that game.
Portis and Cooley, I guess they are at a disadvantage. Cleveland at Cincinnati.
Had some trouble with this one.
I think this went overtime the first time they played, right?
Yeah. I got Bengals by 11.5.
No, it's high. I said 13.5. It's 14.
Oh.
Wow, this is a thrashing.
You're killing me.
Hey, what if Larry Johnson is the jinx? Like, what if whatever team he goes to, it just starts to suck?
Well, isn't that what happened with Braylon Edwards?
Yeah, that's true.
Who?
Have a name for guys like this.
Is it too early for me to say that? I mean, is the Braylon Edwards thing and still the Jets fans would still do that one?
What's that?
I was against the Braylon Edwards trade. I just don't think he's good.
Well, there's definitely no chemistry there, but Sanchez isn't locking into him at all. Might make Autry a little better.
I'm against. I would love to see the history of teams trading for receivers during the season and how that works out, because I am hard pressed to find one time that's worked out. You saw it last year with Roy Williams. It just seems like it never works. The guy never is comfortable in the offense. He never has the reps with the quarterback. Quarterback doesn't feel comfortable with him. Like, if it pays off like a year later, but it never pays off during the actual season.
Yeah, they didn't give up much for him, though, right? I mean, they were trying to get him out of there, Cleveland.
Well, didn't they give up a second rounder?
Was it a second rounder and Chauncey Stuckey? Was that what it was?
They gave up 2 picks, and I think they had to pay him, or they're going to have to pay him or something.
Yeah.
He's got some sort of contract. I don't know. The guy drops too many passes.
Yeah, he's no good. Miami at Buffalo.
Miami at Buffalo.
Ricky Williams story or something.
I got Dolphins by 3.5.
I had 3, and it's 3.
Oh!
3 games I had exactly. And that's another one. You know, going into Buffalo isn't as brutal as it used to be, and Miami has 10 days off, too. We should look at that one.
This book tour has ruined everything about my football life. It's ruined my gambling. It's ruined my picks. It's ruined my Subway Fresh Take Hotline contest. I can't watch my shows. I haven't seen Inside the NFL in 4 weeks. I never get to do my whole routine. I haven't seen NFL Network in a month. I don't know what Rich Eisen's hair looks like. I've had it. I'm not touring for this book anymore.
You get to work on your excuses, though. That's for sure.
When I went off on this tour, I had the best feel of the league I had ever had. I was on the lines every time. In my head, everything was calibrated, and now it's like I feel like a race car engine that the computer is all messed up and my brakes are messed up and I don't know what's going on. I'm really upset, Sal.
Keep writing books. Keep them coming. So what do we want? 1,200 pages on curling. I want it by March.
The book of curling?
Yeah. To scratch the surface. Indy at Houston.
Indy at Houston. Hey, this Texans team, the no-heart Texans. I'm going to say Colts by 4.
I said Colts by 4. It's 3. And I like their undefeated run to end here.
Hey, someone told me in either Portland or Seattle that him and his friend listen to this podcast, and when you say the lines, they pause it, and then they guess the lines with us, and they have the same bet with the Subway sub.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Oh, they have the same bet. Oh, interesting.
They go head-to-head each week as we're going head-to-head, and then after it's all over, the winner gets to hit the other guy with a sub.
Oh, I like that. Maybe they could be on the undercard since we're gonna film this whole thing. Now, I like to get girls, too, to match up if we could. We should make a whole thing of this.
The only thing is, I know that eventually I think there could be some sort of scandal here potentially. If we get close near the end and it's like, all right, all I have to do is cheat 1 week and I get to hit Simmons with the sub, I think you would.
Well,
I think you would weigh the pros and cons, and you would do it.
I know you want to do the playoffs, but is it fair to have like the Super Bowl count as a whole week? Like if someone's, it's like, no, Saints by 3.5, no, 4. Oh, I said 4. I think maybe we should just hold it to the regular season.
Well, with the playoffs, we have to do the playoffs because we guess the playoffs each week. So maybe we should.
We could do it, but I don't know if the contest should count on it.
You don't think? Are you saying that just because you're close?
We'll work it out. I'm just saying if it's 10 to 10, I guess it is pretty cool if it's 10 to 10 and we do the line.
Well, maybe we could do it so that the playoffs are worth 3 weeks or something, or 2 weeks or whatever.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Should we wake up Joe Meade and see what he thinks?
Yes.
Joe Meade, what do you think?
What do you think?
I think it should go all through the playoffs, and then, most likely one of you will already have won it before the Super Bowl, and if not, it's a cool little one-game playoff.
All right.
I will say, in fairness to that defense, that is how we've done it in other years.
All right, that's interesting. But here's what I'm thinking. It's 10 to 10, right? We have Week 21. Everyone knows the line of the Super Bowl come the first Monday morning. Which line do we go by? We're going to have to really iron out the details.
Well, maybe for the Super Bowl we'll have to do the line, the over/under, an MVP pick. Like we'll have to have some wrinkles.
All right.
Yeah.
Joe, you all right with wrinkles?
I'm okay with wrinkles.
All right, cool.
Okay. All right, let me just ask you this. Now, those are the early games, right?
Yeah.
Now, hypothetically speaking, if your cousin had a house with a giant TV screen that could split into 4 games, and what do you do if your choices are Seattle at St. Louis, Tampa at Atlanta, Carolina at New Jersey at the Jets, Washington at Philly, Cleveland at Cincinnati, Miami at Buffalo, and Indy at Houston? That is a disgusting run there.
Indy at Houston's the best one.
Indy at Houston's the big screen, but what do you even do? These other games are disgraceful, I think.
I got to say, I'm proud of you that you're going to take the Cowboys off the big screen because, to be honest, you've tortured us. You've tortured us. Oh, that's right. I was looking at. Well, you did torture us last week. You had Cowboys Redskins when Colts Ravens.
I'm sorry. I know. I try not to do that too much, but I have to. When they're bigger, I feel like they hear me when I yell at them.
It was an awful game, though. I mean, it was really horrible. It was 6-0 in the fourth quarter. And meanwhile, Colts Ravens had all these twists and turns. That's all right, though. I mean, you're entitled 3 times a year, I guess.
I apologize.
That was a bad game, though.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
All right, late games.
Scores in 23 possessions. Jacksonville at San Francisco, late afternoon.
I don't even care anymore. So mad. Niners by 2.5.
This is one I picked exactly. It's 3. Niners by 3.
I don't agree with that.
Jacksonville's better. Why
that should be a 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah. Remind me not to take the Niners as my surprise team again next year. It just surprises me how bad they are down the stretch. That's I guess it's the only surprise.
There's some teams that just, when they need to throw the ball on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, whatever, they just can't do it successfully. And the Niners, I think, are one of those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kansas City at San Diego.
Well, now that the other lines have been inflated, I'm going to change my pick on this. I'm going to say Chargers by 13.
See, let me just say this. You got that. I don't have that luxury of doing what you just did there. I write them all down, and then I look at them.
Well, I tried to make it respectable.
I understand. I'm just pointing out. You say I could cheat. All right, it's 4. It's 10 to 4.
What did you say for that one?
I said 12.5, so you get it.
What was the actual line?
I'm sorry, 13.5. 13.5. I jinxed us with that teaser, by the way, that last week when I said the Castle Charles Chambers combo is not going to do us in. I promise you. Well, once I start listing names, it's bad. I think I did it with Rock Hartwright too, and he almost beat the Cowboys.
we're probably two of the only people who watched that game last week, but the Steelers were up 3 inside the 10, and Roethlisberger threw it right to 4 different Chiefs at the same time. They couldn't decide which guy wanted to intercept it, and then the guy ran all the way down, got the tying field goal. But that game was over. Like, they were inside the 10. You're the defending champs. You should win that game against the crappy Chiefs defense. That was embarrassing. That was it. Bad job by them. I'm beginning to think that that's not a playoff team.
The Steelers.
Yeah, their defense. We even talked about it. I was like, I think the Steelers can play defense better than anybody. And then they give up, in overtime, they give up a 60-yard play. Maybe they're just not good.
It's just that, they will be a playoff team, though, won't they? No one from the NFC. Oh, maybe you think the Dolphins will compete for a spot there?
It's going to take 10 wins.
You still like Denver to be around, too.
No, I'm out on Denver. I actually think it's crazy, but I really think Tennessee can go 10-6. It's going to have to. I think they're going to at least be a tough out every game from here on in.
I agree.
And the other thing is they went 13-3 last year, 12-4, whatever it was. It's not like they weren't good last year.
They could do it. I just think it's such a hole they were put in there. Like if 9-7 got them in, I would feel much better about it.
All right, but what if they can get to 7-6? Then it's like, can they just get 3 more weeks out of this?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's you take it one game at a time.
I like them, and that's the next game, Arizona, Tennessee. There's no line on it because Kurt Warner got his brain scrambled a little.
Yeah, I got Titans by 3 for this one.
All right, I actually had the same thing, but there's no one. But let me just say this. They talk about the injuries in the NFL and concussions and everything and the long-term damage it does. What about for you and I? Here it is Tuesday morning, heading into Tuesday afternoon. They still don't have a line on this game. What about it hurts us, too, the injury?
Yeah.
No one ever brings that up.
And I'm very disappointed in the national media that they haven't interviewed one crusty old guy who's going to just come out and basically go off on this whole concussion, being sensitive about the concussions. Where's the old guy, sitting in some living room, be like, in my day, I got knocked out, I went right back on the field. These guys are wusses. Like, where's that guy?
They're very careful. Well, that old guy is John Riggins. He was on Inside the NFL 2 weeks ago.
Well, you know who else I need? I need that guy, and I need Mercury Morris. We need a Mercury Morris. We have 2 10-0 teams. Where the hell is Mercury Morris right now?
You're right. Well, if they get through this week, we have to see some Mercury.
Do you think he's being held down somewhere? I don't know.
They don't let him out. Chicago at Minnesota.
This is just a thrashing. Vikings by 10.5.
Yeah, you got it. You hit it exact. I said 10.
Thank you.
You got that one.
Boy, you're really on this week with the lines.
I know. I really did concentrate this week.
All right,
the Bears are so bad, aren't they? It's weird with this Cutler and Orton. They both ended up being dogs.
I think if you did, Orton got hurt. That's not totally fair.
Yeah.
The Bears have to have the most depressed fan base. Because I think at least with the other depressing fan bases, like the Lions or whoever, the fans know, oh yeah, we knew we were going to suck and I'm used to this by now. But the Bears, it was just like a haymaker they never saw coming.
It's disgusting.
They have no first-round pick.
So open to miss him on that pass.
They go into the season with this franchise QB and a running back that was either going 2 or 3 in every fantasy draft.
Yeah.
And what seemed to be a relatively weak division, and holy crap!
Yeah,
feel bad for the Bears fans.
Devin Hester mooning the Sunday night crowd.
Yeah, it's a good fan base, though. I feel bad for the Bears fans.
All right, Pittsburgh at Baltimore, and I think Roethlisberger's starting.
All right, I got Steelers by 3.
You have Steelers by 3.
I do.
I had Baltimore by 2, and it's Baltimore by 3. Because you have to figure the Colts were barely favored over Baltimore. They're better than Pittsburgh.
I know, but after watching the Ravens these last couple weeks, this is a must-win for the Steelers, though. So Vegas is saying that the Steelers are done for the year.
Well, Baltimore's 5-5. It's really a must-win for them.
Is it a must-win for both, though?
Pittsburgh's 6-4. Yeah, probably, but Pittsburgh at least has Baltimore at home in a few weeks.
The Ravens have lost to every team they needed to beat except Denver.
They're not good. They don't score, huh?
I like the Steelers. I think I'm going to have a big week this week. I think these lines are off, and you know what? I think I think
you like
I'm
a lot
right.
of road teams. You like the Steelers, the
I
Panthers?
do. Well, the road teams cover every week. What, you know?
All right, and now your big one. This is it. Monday night. New England at New Orleans.
Saints by 3.
Saints by 3 is exactly right. I had 2.
Yeah. That had to be 3.
Yeah. All right.
So you might have won the week, but I won the most important game, so you can go to hell.
What? That doesn't count. What
That counts. Joe Meade changed the ratings. I win because I hit the big game. So do you...
We're tied 6-6 after 12 weeks.
What do you think of that
Saints game? This is one of those
game?
games where no one takes New Orleans again, right? The undefeated team doesn't have a chance in the public's eye.
I'm just taking the Pats the rest of the way because, I took the Jets last week. And, once they have the game comfortably won, deep down in the recesses of your head, you're thinking, all right, it would be nice if the Jets covered this and we won by 10. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to be put in that position with my team. So I'm taking the Pats, even if I don't know if they're going to win or not. As an unbiased observer, who do you think wins?
I think the Pats also. But it worries me because now, it's early in the week, but all I'm hearing is Patriots. But I do think, here's one thing I will say that might be different than something anyone's heard. If you play bad teams too many weeks in a row, that's hard to come back from. And the Saints, who do the Saints play? They play Tampa.
Yeah, I call this my Madden theory. This is my Madden theory where you're playing Madden at one level, like you're playing at the pro level. And then you decide, all right, I'm going to jump to Madden for one game. And it takes you a quarter to get used to the speed.
Yeah, right.
So
I think, you're right. Coming off the Rams and the Bucks, I think the Saints are going to have trouble. I think Welker's going to be running around. They're not going to know what happened. It's kind of like if Mayweather used Aaron and Nick Carter as his sparring partners before taking Pacquiao. The Saints haven't played a big game in a month. So
here's my counter to that. Well, I think the Falcons game was a relatively... that at least was a Monday night game you have to get fired up for. But I think the Rams are half decent for a bad team.
The Rams?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought we had that game on. It was on one of the smaller TVs, but I don't know. It just seemed like they were moving the ball on them and running the ball and playing them fairly tough.
Yeah.
At least they had to work to win that game, but then last week with the Bucks, that obviously was an exhibition game, basically. Here's my concern. We're going to have to run the ball to win this game. You've seen the Patriots. Are you sold that we can run the ball on a Monday night in a dome with a loud crowd? Because I'm not.
I think you do think you're gonna have to run. I think you could do it with short screens and throw stuff at the Saints that they haven't seen before. But
the teams that have succeeded against the Saints were the teams that pounded them.
Yeah, because they keep the Saints off the field. But if you could achieve that with short passes, like throwing a Welker 15 times, it's kind of the same thing.
I'm worried about this one because I'm worried about the special teams. I'm worried about the dome. It's a huge. This is the game of the year for New Orleans, not just for them, but for the fans. Monday night.
Does this have a chance to beat the Packed Vikings ratings-wise for ESPN?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Which conference do we think is better? I haven't seen the interconference game matchups. I was going to look at that this week, but do we feel like the AFC is slightly better or the NFC is slightly better? Because it seems to me the AFC is slightly better.
I think the AFC 1 through 6 playoff teams would be better, but I think the Saints and the Vikings are probably maybe the two best teams. I do.
Wow.
You don't want to give the Vikings credit. I know you don't think they play anyone good, but what is bad about it? Favre's numbers are ridiculous now.
They haven't, and there's a chance that they might just be able to go all through January being in a dome, which is the best thing that could ever happen to that team.
Yeah, same with the Saints. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not like I don't want to give them credit. I don't trust Favre to get 21 weeks out of them, which is what they're going to need. They need 21 weeks, not 10.
But and it never comes to this, but if we had Colts hosting Pats and Saints hosting Vikings or the other way around, whatever, for the championship games, I wouldn't say one conference is stronger than the other.
Yeah, that's true.
You couldn't set a Super Bowl line there, really.
Can't we get Andy Reid in there somehow?
Sure.
I picked the Eagles on Sunday night. I was really hoping Andy wasn't going to screw that one up. It's really kind of nerve-wracking to have Andy Reid in anything. It's really like they had that thing where he was standing next to the ref waiting to call the timeout with 1 second left. I was convinced he was going to mess it up. It's like, oh, crap. Oh, I missed it. It was like, and it's zeros. Oh, crap. Forgot to hit my hands together. That guy's
luckily he had Jay Cutler to screw everything up for him. It just fell into his lap.
Can we quickly talk about the LSU collapse? Because we both watched it.
Yeah.
First of all, the fade.
Vern Lundquist still alive? I mean, I can't believe. I thought he had an aneurysm.
He was the most agitated I've ever heard a play-by-play guy by a game.
What is he doing?
It was like he had the LSU money line. Well, first of all, our new pet peeve of the year, and we keep bringing this up, is the fade from 1 or 2 yards. I'd love to see somebody just keep track of this the whole year and see if it's 10% or 11% success rate. Just never works, never seems to work. You never get the interference call anymore.
It's something that they run in practice without a defender.
Yeah.
Just to boost their egos or whatever. And it works in practice when no one's going again. And then it just, there's not even a chance it goes in. Someone catches a fade route anymore. So
LSU runs the fade needing a 2-point. They get the interference call, so now they're on the 1, and then they run another fade and they don't get it. Then somehow they get the onside, and then they get the Hail Mary, but the field goal team's not ready, and then they decide to spike it with 1 second left, which obviously, if you're spiking the ball, it's going to take a second, so the game ended. And I don't know, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, to me, that was a Division I football game, and that was a top 10 ranked team. For that to happen, I was just perplexed.
I would say, all right, he didn't get the field goal team on. And maybe that isn't an option with 1 second left. That's a crazy thing, having to get everyone on and off and not false start there with once. But for God's sake, you have to take a shot at the end zone, don't you? You can't spike a ball with 1 second.
Well, but why couldn't he call a timeout?
He had none, right?
No, he had one timeout.
No.
Yeah, he did. He had timeout.
He did? No, he didn't call timeout.
He had a timeout. He said there was an issue with getting the timeout into the game, into the attention of the referee or something. He had some sort of weird excuse.
Is that right? I didn't have that altogether. I didn't even think timeout was an option there.
What would you do if you're Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think you're back in college. I think you're back. You're back.
I saw 2 games. I watched the end of Notre Dame UConn, and I watched the end of the LSU. Hey. Joe Meade.
Yes.
What do you do with Charlie Weis?
You got to get rid of him. He deserves to be fired, right?
Sal, what do you think?
It is weird when you set yourself up and say, this is not a 500 team. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be around if we go 500. That is not what Notre Dame football is all about, years ago. And then here they are losing to UConn. A team like UConn out-recruits Notre Dame at the running back spot. You got Donald Brown's a Colt, and this guy Dixon ran all over him the other day. How are they being out-recruited at the running back spot by a team?
They are not being out-recruited at the running back spot. We got great running backs.
Division 1A.
You made Joe Meade mad. Never heard that before.
What?
The offense is not the problem. We can't recruit a good defense.
Hey, Sal.
I don't know.
I wasn't going to talk about this in the podcast, but Joe Meade was the guy who punched Jimmy Clausen.
He did?
Yeah. He saw him in a diner. He just got mad. He punched him. Yeah, just socked him. That was horrible. How do you punch an 18-year-old freshman quarterback?
I heard it was the Monsignor who patrolled the sidelines.
He's not a freshman anymore, Bill.
What is he, a sophomore now?
He's a junior.
He's a junior?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a college football fan.
No.
I've only recently gotten into Mangino. I know I'm 5 years late to the party in that, but he is mesmerizing in HD. Yeah. It's really great. Wait, the Notre Dame thing very quickly. Here's what I don't get. How could he not resign? How could his dignity, how could you put a price on your own dignity? At some point you just got to walk away, right?
It is funny with these guys, yeah.
Or at least take a buyout. Just say, you know what, you gave me this contract, but I also promised you that I would do a good job, and I'm awful.
Well, it should be like an athlete, like Mickey Mantle's last year, and he's hitting 230 or something. You're like, all right, I see what's going on here. I just don't have it anymore. I got to hang it up. Otherwise, my career stats are going to suffer even worse. Why should that be different for someone like Charlie Weis? He just doesn't have it.
Well, why do all these teams, they hire these coaches, these colleges, and it's like a disaster half the time?
Yeah.
Like, I thought they had, like, search committees for this and stuff. Like, you grab the guy who's the hot younger guy and you bring him in. It's just weird that they misfire so many times. Like, Michigan is the same thing with Rich Rodriguez, right?
Well, I think they should, like the NFL, when they fire their coach, a lot of times they'll take the best college coach available, But
yeah.
College should do the same. Take the best high school guy. You get the legend from Mission Viejo is all of a sudden coaching Notre Dame. And that I'm telling you, Joe Meade, that'll get people interested in Notre Dame football again. It's a high school coach.
I think we tried that before with Jerry Faust.
Oh, that
didn't end up really well.
The Notre Dame thing is like the Knicks to me. Like, it's just inexcusable if they're not good. They should always be good. Should always be in the mix. They should not go 6-5. Like, I know they have a little different academic standards, but it's one of those schools that should. I just can't imagine how they wouldn't be good.
I agree.
Like the Knicks can spend $100 million and they're going to win 20 games. It makes no sense. It's illogical.
And they will spend that money because they'll end up sucking up this crazy contract of Weis and hiring someone else just to get interest sparked again.
Don't you think they buy him out like for 70% of what the contract is?
Sure.
Because he just can't be a fun life for him. He's like basically a pariah. It's like the Scarlet Letter. He just walks around there and, at some point you got to, like, for health reasons and happiness reasons, you got to walk away.
He already said he would do it for lifelong season tickets and a 10-pack of White Castle burgers. So they're negotiating.
Last thing, very quickly, you handed out the character of the decade.
Yeah.
On Thursday night, and our old friend Mad Brad defeated a really stellar cast of contenders.
We should have had him. We should have had him call in. I forgot. Yeah. Brad, our friend Brad, won it, and almost in his acceptance speech, almost threw his stool at the keyboard player who was mocking him. I'm going to get you a DVD. You missed it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I was in Portland, but so you held this at the Comedy Store. You had 125 people there. You had the roastmaster Jeff Ross. You had Kimmel and Carolla. Who did?
Jeff Ross made an appearance. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy went for like 40 minutes in defense of his, in nominating his agent and our agent, Baby Doll Dixon, and it was great. Carolla was really funny, talking on behalf of his lifelong friend Ray. It was quite an evening.
Is there any way? Now I know there's like a whole, whatever. It's a little bit discreet, but is there any way some of this stuff can go on YouTube?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Okay.
You could cut like 5 clips from the Cody. We call it the Cody. It's the character of the year, but this was the decade. Yeah. But you could leak 5 clips on YouTube, I think, so everybody can enjoy it, right?
All right. Yeah.
Like at least the footage of Brad circling himself in the elevator and stuff like that.
Our friend Rick ran naked. Maybe I'll put that on YouTube. That'll be a nice Thanksgiving treat for everyone.
All right, good. Cousin Sal, congratulations on whipping my butt. Talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
So I get the sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
This concludes another installment of the B.S. Report. And with all the talk about sports, Bill Simmons neglected to mention this important news, which frankly cannot go unstated. Whether tailgating, watching the game with friends, or just really hungry, attack your hunger with Subway Catering. Pile-high platters starting at $25. Giant subs, cookies, drinks, and more. So find a reason to party. Put Subway Catering in charge and get busy feasting. Subway. Cater fresh.